Your story may not have such a happy beginning,
There's a sense of mourning and grief that is a necessary part of life.
but that doesn't make you who you are.
Sometimes children lose their parents and parents pass away and somebody else raises them, and it's tragic and it's hard.
It is the rest of your story.
He needs to redefine what he is. He has to come to terms with what is inside of him.
Who you choose to be.
I am Poe, and I'm gonna need a hat.
Our different roles define us, our different relationships define us. Poe grew as a panda in knowing his panda father.
That's how we roll!
He also grew in knowing his goose father and in his friends and with Sifu.
I love you guys.
We are limitless in our capacity for love and our capacity to do good and our capacity for growth. And if you ask me, that's the purpose of living.
Am I the son of a panda? The son of a goose? A student? A teacher? Turns out, I'm all of them. I am the Dragon Warrior.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Alan Seawright. I'm a professional filmmaker who needs therapy and acting lessons.
I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies. What do we got going on today?
I would like to have you react to a panda and his dad and his other dad.
Aw, awesome.
Thanks, Dads.
We're doing Kung Fu Panda.
We're doing Kung Fu Pandas
2 and 3?
2 and 3
Yes.
with Ping
You can fly?
I'm a bird, Paul.
and Lee.
We're pandas. We don't do stairs.
I've waited my whole life to hear those words.
Man, the voice actors
Yeah.
that they got for this, like the incomparable James Hong.
Yeah.
Iconic portrayal of a duck.
And then Bryan
And
Cranston.
then Bryan Cranston coming in and getting back to his silly comedy roots.
Yeah.
I'm so full of bacon. My body's meant for shaking.
Love
Just
it.
love it.
All right, let's do this. I'm assuming since we're talking about the dads, we're going to be doing adoption and blended family type stuff.
Sure, we're going to talk about some of that. We're going to talk about if you're in a situation like that where you got a co-dad somewhere. Mm-hmm. How do you co-dad?
Which I am.
Double dad defense.
You are a co-dad.
I am a co-dad.
So we're going to talk about your life experience raising a kung fu master who is a panda.
Okay.
The strangest thing happened. I had this crazy vision. I think I saw my mom and me as a baby.
Mom? A baby?
Dad,
What are you doing?
how do I say this? Where did I come from?
All his little noises that he makes.
Well, you see, son, baby geese come from a little egg. Don't ask me where the egg comes from.
That's not what I meant.
I know it's not. I think it's time I told you something I should have told you a long time ago.
Okay.
You might have been kind of adopted.
I knew it.
I knew it.
Well, who told you?
No one. I mean, come on, Dad.
But if you knew, why didn't you ever say anything?
Why didn't you say anything? How did I get here, Dad? Where did I come from?
Silliness aside, have you ever worked with any families adoption where it was like kept from the kids and then they're dealing with it? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, we covered this
I mean,
a
I
little
feel
bit.
like that's not a thing that people do as much anymore, right?
It's a tough call because well-meaning parents want their kids to feel like you're just like everybody
just part of
else.
the family, yeah.
You're just part of the family. You're just like everybody else. Not just in the family, but in the community.
Mm-hmm.
The more we diversify with families and what families look like, we start to see some of the old stigmas melt away,
Yeah.
right? Where a parent might be more inclined to just tell a child early on where they came from and, you know, I am your parent and we love you and we raise
Well,
you.
especially in like a mixed race adoption scenario.
I'm adopted.
What? Oh my God! Who told you?
But why not tell? Obviously, for the reasons we talked about, it's to protect.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's different family to family. I do think you want to tell the child sooner rather than later. And by sooner, I mean while they're a child,
Yes.
right? My vote would be when the child's old enough to ask or the child's old enough to understand.
Yeah.
You have that conversation. If any of you have had that experience, let us know, good or ill, in the comments below. What worked for you?
And then I made a decision that would change my life forever. To make my soup without radishes. And to raise you as my own son. Xiaopo, my little panda. And from that moment on, both my soup and my life have been that much sweeter. And little Po, that's the end of the story. Look at me. No, don't look at me. Oh, Po, your story may not have such a happy beginning, but look how it turned out. You got me, you got Kung Fu, and you got noodles.
I just have so many questions. Like, how did I ever fit in this tiny basket? Why didn't I like pants?
Why didn't I like
And who am I?
Yeah, that's the big question, especially as people grow older when they tend to want to know their birth parents and their biological parents.
Why didn't I like pants?
No, but who am I?
Oh,
Right? And in
that
Poe's
makes more
case, he
sense.
was found, abandoned in the alleyway.
Sure.
And we learned later the story was his mom did that to save his life because she gave her life to protect him, et cetera, et cetera. But
Yeah.
why do we want to know our birth parents? Because we want to know who we are. But we have to keep in mind, birth parents, that's nature, that's biology, right?
Yeah, it's giving you some genetic code. Like it's an influence on you for sure.
Yeah, well, especially when it comes to mannerisms or allergies
Do you have panda asthma too? Does that run in the family?
or appearance. And I'm not saying there isn't nature in personality, because I know, as well as you know with your kids, they arrive with personalities.
They come out of the box. They got an operating system.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And I could trace back like all of my kids as babies and how they are now, and I'm like, yep.
Yeah, it's a straight line. Yeah, it's like
Well, there's growth and there's evolution and what have you, but like the baseline personality is what it is.
It is,
right?
yeah.
And so that can be an important reason to want to know your birth parents. But it's also crucial to recognize that the person who raised you, not just the time and effort and energy that they put into you, but what they taught you and how much love they gave you and how that relationship is as valid as any other. There's nothing less significant about it because there's not genetic blood there.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Poe, it's very natural. You want to know where you came from. You want to know your story.
for sure.
Hey, they're waiting for me.
Of course. You have a job to do. Far from home, in a strange city filled with strange people and strange noodles facing horrible danger from which you might never return. Don't go, Po.
I gotta go. I'm the Dragon Warrior. It's kind of my job to save Kung Fu. And if I don't, what am I?
You're my son. Right?
Poe, it's time.
Goodbye.
Man, they go so hard on these movies.
Yeah.
The background painters, all just drinks on me. Next time I'm
At DreamWorks
at
headquarters.
DreamWorks headquarters. But seriously, I mean, all of the art in these movies are great, but the backgrounds in the Kung Fu Panda movies, they all look like classic Chinese paintings, and they're gorgeous. Talk to me a little bit about, he's learning and growing, and he's trying
Yeah.
to figure out what he is, right?
Well, and that's true in any family. I mean, if it's a biological parent and child, there's still a separation of, okay,
Yeah.
this has been my home, you've been my parents, you've defined who I am,
Mm-hmm.
you've raised me, you've taught me, our family culture, our family values, that's all been who I am. At a point, I need to push against that. And that's natural. I mean, it's hard for the parents and the kids, but like kids pushing against that is part of growing up because they're trying to carve out their own identity.
Right.
And in Poe's case, it's especially profound because he's got that plus, are you even my dad?
Yeah.
Do I even accept this as part of who I am? I'm not saying he doesn't love the goose or see him as a father, but in this moment, he says, you're my son. And Poe doesn't immediately say, of course I am.
Yeah.
At this point, he's got his own doubts. And so this is a brutal moment of realization for them where they can completely redefine what they are.
Yes.
And his dad doesn't want to. And Poe doesn't know what he
Poe,
wants.
well, he doesn't know what he wants, but he also needs to, right? He needs to redefine what he is. This is his story, his way to find inner peace.
Yeah.
Is he has to come to terms with what is inside of him.
Yeah. And this is true in biological family relationships and adopted family relationships, that a person is going to separate themselves.
Sure.
And decide who they are and what their identity is and what it looks like.
Yeah.
And in healthy relationships, healthy parent-child relationships, if you have the same relationship with your parents as an adult that you had as a child or as a teenager,
That's not healthy.
yeah, there's something off.
Right.
Because you should be realigning into more of a peer relationship.
Yeah.
No, it's the least I can do. You raised me.
Poe?
Dad.
Poe!
Okay. Let's both cook. Together.
Together.
Not in the sense of, I mean, there'll always be your parents, what have you, but I'm now an adult who makes adult decisions, who carves my own path, who figures out my own life. And Poe is just doing that. But what his father is worried about is, will I lose you?
Right.
Will you decide that you don't want me, you don't want this, because you're going to go pursue finding, your panda father or something else, and everything that we had together is not going to mean anything. And that's the big fear. And that's another reason why a lot of parents, adoptive parents, struggle to tell their children,
Sure.
because they figure the moment they know, they're going to want to meet the biological parent, and then what am I? Was I just the steward of Gondor, waiting for, I was just the caretaker for a while, and there's,
Yeah.
but no, I'm the parent. I raised you. I changed your diapers. I fed you. I read to you. I sang to you. I taught you. I cried for you. I was exhausted for you, and they don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
How did you find peace? I took away your parents. Everything. I scarred you for life.
See, that's the thing, Shen. Scars heal.
No, they don't. Wounds heal.
Oh, yeah. What do scars do? They fade, I guess?
Scars do.
You should, Shen. You gotta let go of that stuff from the past, because it just doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you choose to be now.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
What?
DreamWorks. How?
How?
How do you have such heartfelt, wonderful, almost tearful moments and then intercut it with just classic Jack Blackisms? Because I'm sure some of that is Jack Black, but a lot of it is the script
Written for Jack Black in
Written.
mind, but yeah.
for him. And it's like, what do you teach me your ways?
How about new, you crazy Dutch bastard?
I just want to know. That's all.
Yeah.
Like the tonal whiplash in that scene should be completely jarring, and it fits. It just flows beautifully.
Yeah.
It's man.
It really does. When Poe says you got to let go of the stuff in the past because it just doesn't matter. I mean, yes and no. Of course it matters. Like
Sure.
our past helped us get to where we are.
It shapes us,
It
yeah.
shapes us where we are. But when we stay there, we're not focused on now or in the future. And it's interesting that we talk about that here and now is a gift. That's why it's called the present, which Oogway talks about in the first film.
He talks about, yeah.
And now Poe is carrying that message forward, which is beautiful and awesome. And he's been so hung up on where did I come from and who are my birth parents that he was neglecting, I have someone amazing who loves me right here and now.
Yeah.
And we see in the third film that he can have both, but he shouldn't have one at the expense of the other.
Right.
You know?
There's something I should tell you. While I was gone, I found the village where I was born. I found out how I ended up in that radish basket.
You did?
I know who I am.
You do?
I'm your son. I love you, Dad.
Oh, come on.
love you too, son.
They're objectively silly characters with objectively silly voices, and the emotion it is delivered with is so real that you're moved. It's a panda bear hugging a goose.
In ancient China,
You should not be crying.
and yet,
And I'm not saying that to shame him. I'm saying that that's the
no,
power
that's
of the
that's
storytelling.
the power of storytelling. That's the power of movies, right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Because the emotional truth is so potent.
It's nearly transcendent. Man, the Kung Fu Panda movies are so good.
Yeah.
All three of them.
I'm eating cookies and cream popcorn.
And I've got Chicago Mix, which is basically the blended family of popcorns.
Yeah.
It's sweet and salty.
But I like cookies and cream because it's the panda.
That's basically panda flavor.
Oh.
This is Internet Dad's popcorn. It's corny. And it's delicious.
We've paired with Lisa's to create our own brand of popcorn, which you can get in our store below.
Yep, click on our store. And special flavors you can only get from us.
Because what is a parent? Is it a person who contributes DNA? Is it a person who carries you and births you? Is it someone who looks after you and takes care of you? All of the above.
Yes.
Right? And he looked after him and took good care of him and was truly a father to him. And we're going to see in the third film, he does get to have both.
He does.
I'm going to keep nomming on this.
Keep nomming. It's very yummy stuff.
Yeah, well, did she also tell you that it'll never happen again? Because I'm done.
Teaching or being humiliated?
Oh, I don't know why you ever thought I could teach that class.
Oh, I knew you couldn't.
What? You set me up to fail? Why?
If you only do what you can do, you will never be more than you are now.
Oof.
I don't want to be
This is the
more.
best
I
Yoda
like
line
who
not
I
spoken
am.
by Yoda.
You don't even know who you are.
He looks a little
Of course
Yoda-ish.
I do. I'm
Sure
the
does.
Dragon Warrior.
And what exactly does that mean, Dragon Warrior?
Little surrogate dad moment.
Yeah.
Mainly, I just wanted to talk about that. A, because, you know, the greatest non-Yoda Yoda line ever.
If you only do what you can, you'll never be more than you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, which, I mean, yes, that feels right. Is that right?
That's 100% right.
Okay. This has been Poe's journey the whole time, right? He's the Dragon Warrior in the first one. I can't be the Dragon Warrior. I'm just a panda.
Yeah.
Like, I love Kung Fu, but I'm just a panda. I can't be the Dragon Warrior. And then he becomes the Dragon Warrior. I can't have inner peace because I don't know who I am inside.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where I come from. Where I come from is my dad, the goose, Ping.
Yeah.
I have inner peace. Now, who are you? Are you the Dragon Warrior? Are you a goose? Are you a panda? Are you a Kung Fu master? Can you teach? What are you? You still don't know. The thing that I love about these movies is it's kind of the same movie over and over again. It's the same story, but that's life.
Yeah.
Life is you learn a lesson and you get further on and you're like, okay, I did it. I overcame that. Like, achievement unlocked,
Yeah.
right? And then you get a little bit further and you're like, oh, that was part of it.
Yeah. And it goes back to Shrek with the layers, right? Like, you learn filmmaker lessons, and then you keep learning more. And you keep learning more. I mean, the story, if you look at the trilogy, like you're saying, it's really about Poe expanding his identity to someone who felt very limited and like a loser to someone who's truly limitless and embracing that. And so every film is about him just going out one more circle in that journey, going out one more circle in that journey, going bigger and bigger. Sifu is definitely a surrogate father.
Yes.
So it's good that you included that clip because that's valid.
That's fun. You clean up your hands there, buddy?
I did clean up my hands. They were covered in delicious goodness.
Delicious panda flavoring.
No, please don't teach me to death. Paul? Oh, hey, Dad. What's up? I was just stopping by for a little soak.
Okay, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing? I come home to find you taking a bath with your dolls.
Action figures.
And instead of adding bath salts to the water, you just added Szechuan peppercorns.
Szechuan. My tenders.
My tenders.
Okay, yes, something's wrong.
There, son. You tell your daddy all about it. Lift your arm.
Well, Shifu says I don't know what it means to be the Dragon Warrior. Now I have to be a teacher? I thought I finally knew who I was. If I'm not the Dragon Warrior, then who am I?
A teacher? Teaching Kung Fu? That's a promotion. Take the job, son. And someday when you're in charge of the whole J Palace, I can sell noodles in the lobby. Why are you still here taking a bath like a baby? Get out, get out, go, go, go. Franchise expansion awaits us.
Well, what about the Dragon Warrior lookalike contest?
Oh, Mrs. Chow always wins that.
Skadoosh.
And the Dragon Warrior dumpling eating contest? I have to defend my title.
No one's gonna beat your dumpling eating record.
Someone's about to beat your dumpling eating record.
This really speaks to me as when you are a classic underachiever because you don't really believe in yourself, and then you actually do achieve something great, or you achieve like I've done more than I ever thought I could. There's this kind of natural desire to settle into complacency and be like, I've arrived.
Yeah.
And Poe has no desire to be a teacher. He has no desire to be a leader. He's amazed that he knows Kung Fu and he has cool friends.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, this is all I ever wanted. And life has a way of saying you're going to keep moving forward or you're going to backslide.
Yep.
And with cinema therapy, like there's so many times in life where I've thought, what do I do? Because I have what I want, you know?
Yeah, like where do we go from here?
And I realized that when I settle into complacency, then things start to get hard. Almost like chi or karma, like something happens when I'm not moving forward that things start to go bad.
Yeah, I don't know what that seems like a law of the universe, man.
Yeah.
There's very little that's static.
Yeah.
The universe doesn't like that.
And so Poe needs to keep growing. He needs to keep evolving. And my personal belief is that, now some people would say, and I'm not going to argue this, that there's nothing wrong with having a quiet, simple life of integrity. In fact, I 100% agree with that. I do feel like we all have a capacity to give and to do good, and then also like whatever our talents are within us to develop that if we so choose. And there's not really a limit on it. Like we place a limit on it.
Yeah.
And this is the headspace he's in right now, is that he's putting the limit on it. His dad sees it as limitless noodles.
It's all about the noodles, and franchise opportunity awaits. And this is just a detail that we all, and I mean everybody, can identify with this. The weird uncle that just jams way too many bao in his mouth.
What?
I'm Li Shan. I'm looking for my son.
You lost your son?
Yes. Many years ago.
I lost my father.
I'm very sorry.
Thank you.
Well,
This would not work if they hadn't spent 2 movies already establishing
You
that
find your son.
Help me find your son.
and I hope you find your father.
establishing that pandas are just dumb. The animation of all of these characters is so great.
Son? Oh my gosh, it is you!
Okay.
Well, don't just stand there. Give your old man a hug!
All right, pause real quick. I just want to know, somebody at DreamWorks, please leave us a comment. I want to know the crowd that's like looking back and forth. Because normally the way animation works is you have an animator that animates the shot and they'll, do the characters, the main characters in the shot. And then you'll have sort of crowd animators who are doing a bunch of the stuff in the background. Sometimes you basically write a program that does most of it and then you'll go in and like tweak a couple of things. Or it's somebody who's just kind of doing quick stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Poe and Lee were like the focus of that wide shot, but what everyone's paying attention to is all the pigs and everybody else in the middle, just like. So I want to know, was that like crowd animators and do they need a raise? Or was that like lead animators who were just like, okay, we got to get the jowls jiggling properly and like, because man, it's so funny. Okay, sorry, we can keep going.
On the next exciting episode of Cinema Therapy.
So obviously we're seeing a lot of jealousy here with Ping and worry of losing this bond, of being replaced, which is the classic fear of an adoptive parent.
You can't take Poe away from me. No, I want a second opinion.
Something I love about this film is that Lee is never territorial or jealous. Lee is like, no, there's room for you. I'm not trying to take your place. I just want a seat at the table.
Was Tyler's dad kind of the Ping? Did it take him a while to come around to co-dadding?
My impression was that it was tense between us for about a year.